Come closer. Listen. What you are about to receive is not just a story, it is a map of the soul itself. Today, we journey into the myth of Salome. This is a lesson in balance, in ruin, and in the great, difficult work of restoration. So pay attention, because this concerns the very architecture of your own inner world.
Right here at the very heart of our lesson is this sacred truth. You see, this is the challenge laid before every single soul that dares to venture into the deep. It's the great work, isn't it? It's like walking a tightrope over an abyss, between the cold, hard limits of reality on one side and that burning light that calls us forward on the other. Let's explore how this sacred balance is actually found.
So our journey begins in the temple of the liminal mind. Think of it as a space between worlds, a place where the true pillars of consciousness are revealed. But there's a problem. This temple exists in a world that is running dry, suffering from what's called a drought within the deep. The very essence of life is just evaporating. A healer is needed, and desperately so.
And into this decaying world steps Salome. Now, she's not just some visitor. She is the chosen priestess. She is the necessary variable, destined to confront this fundamental conflict head-on. Her whole purpose is to wield her logos magic, which is really the divine power of reason itself, to synthesize two completely opposing forces and, well, bring the rain back to the soul.
To restore this world, Salome has to walk two paths. The first one, that's the path of stone, guarded by the Gorgon sisters. And look, this is not a path of evil, not at all. It's a path of necessary truth. It's the path of structure, of limits, and of the unyielding laws that govern all existence.
The core teaching of the Gorgon is this: the law of final entropy. But you have to understand, initiate, this law isn't some malevolent force you have to defeat. No, it's a fundamental principle. It's the stone-cold truth that everything, eventually, winds down. And if you want to build anything that lasts, you have to first respect this immutable law. This illuminates the harsh wisdom Salome has to learn. First, she must understand the non-I. That's the reality that exists completely outside of her own will. Then she has to respect the anstos, the universal obstacle that pushes back against all of creation. These lessons teach her to honor boundaries, which form a kind of protective cage against total chaos. It's a tough wisdom, for sure, because it forces you to acknowledge the inherent cost of just being, the stain of existence. But it's this very weight that gives her the strength to withstand the crushing pressure of the deep. But you know, structure alone just leads to stagnation, a world of cold, dead stone. And so Salome must walk a second path. This is the path of light, and it's guided by the goddess Hecate and her divine torches, which light the way toward boundless renewal. So, where the Gorgon taught of entropy, Hecate reveals something called palingenesis energy. This is the divine fire of rebirth, the spiritual force that actively fights back against decay. It's the power that allows a soul not just to survive inside the void, but to create, to navigate, to breathe life back into the darkness. From Hecate, the triple one who leads, Salome gets the active tools she needs for restoration. She masters her logos magic, learning to navigate the hidden cracks in reality. In the silence of the deep, she reclaims the absolute I, the unshakable core of her own being. And this insight allows her to master the chaos all around her, bridging the gap between cold logic and the soul's ancient architecture. With these gifts, she finally gains the power to reintroduce moisture to heal that desiccated world. Now look at this. This isn't a story of good versus evil. It's a duality. It's a balance. The Gorgon offers the warning of pain, the protective cage of the non-I. Hecate offers the path toward home, the divine insight of the absolute I. One is stasis, the other is renewal. A soul absolutely needs both of these pillars to endure the abyss. So you see, Salome's great test is not to choose one path over the other. Her true purpose, her destiny, is to become the living bridge between them. She must synthesize these opposing truths into a new, higher reality. And to perform this great work, she has two very unique instruments. Her emeralded staff, well, it's a conduit. It's capable of creating a brand new restorative frequency that harmonizes stone and light. And then there's the emerald-scaled Leviathan, a creature of the deep, which provides the immense spiritual ballast needed to anchor this new reality. Her final act is a sacred ritual. First, she grounds the power of both trinities, honoring each one. Then, with a moment of pure, focused will, she wields her staff, sending out that new, world-healing frequency. She bonds with the Leviathan, grounding the magic in an ancient, deep strength. And finally, she uses her Logos magic to rewrite the very alphabet of reality, creating a new law where renewal can actually coexist with structure. And with that one act, the world changes. The underworld ocean, which was once a lightning-scarred grave of dead potential, becomes a sacred laboratory. Through this synthesis, Salome proves that growth can be perpetually restored, that life can flourish even in the face of the void. So what's the result of all this? Of this great work? A new world is born from the ashes of the old, a restored Atlantis. And it's built not on one single foundation, but on the perfect synthesis of these opposing forces. And so I ask you, initiate. What is truly born from this union of stone and light? What does a world actually look like when the warning of pain and the path toward purpose find their perfect equilibrium? The answer is the four-fold Atlantis. Its sea is protected from entropy by the Gorgon's wisdom. Its soil is the grounding spiritual weight of the Leviathan. Its sun is the divine palingenesios energy of Hecate's torch. And uniting them all, the spirit, the synthesized will of Salome herself. By weaving these four elements together, she nullifies the drought. She establishes new ontological anchors, brand new foundational truths for reality itself. She creates a multi-layered world that provides a permanent stay against the void's endless attempt at total erasure. And here we find the ultimate lesson that Salome learns. The stain of existence, that inherent cost of being that the Gorgon revealed, it's not something to be scrubbed away. It's a memory, a scar. It's something to be understood, to be integrated, and to be healed. It has its own place in a restored world. And so we end by turning this myth back to you. If your soul is a world, a temple of the liminal mind, what is your stone, and what is your light? What opposing forces must you synthesize to keep your own world from running dry? Meditate on this. The path of Salome is the path of every soul.